Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum dear all. This is Zakirullah, lecturer medical laboratory technology. Today we will learn about the gas chromatography. In this video lecture we will be learning about the gas chromatography, what is gas chromatography, about its introduction and the different phases of gas chromatography, the mobile phase, the stationary phase. Also we will learn about the instrumentation, the different parts of the instrument and how this instrument work to separate a component from a solution. Also in the last we will learn about the different applications of gas chromatography and these are the learning points of today's lecture, so stick to the lecture. Gas chromatography. Chromatography is basically a separation method in which a component or the mixture of different elements it is separated on the basis of its interaction with the mobile phase and with the stationary phase of a column. The gas chromatography, it is under the classification of column chromatography. We know that chromatography can be divided into two major parts. One is the planar chromatography and the second one is column chromatography. Planar chromatography, it is further divided into paper chromatography and thin layer chromatography, and the other part which is column chromatography, it is divided into gas and liquid chromatography. So we will today discuss about the gas chromatography. In gas chromatography, the substance are separated on the basis of interaction with the mobile phase and with the stationary phase, and this gas chromatography, it is performed and useful for those compounds which are naturally volatile or they can be converted into volatile form very easily. So these are the solutions, these are the mixture for which gas chromatography can be performed, and the component of this mixture they are separated with the help of this gas chromatography. This gas chromatography, it is used because it produces a very high resolution result and it can detect a low level of any component, any part of a mixture, and the accuracy of this gas chromatography is very good. We can obtain a result again and again, and the last advantage of this gas chromatography is that it is performed in a very short time and we can separate different components in a very short time. The retention of compound in gas chromatography, it is determined by its vapor pressure, volatility and interaction with the stationary phase. So in the gas chromatography, the separation or the retention of compound, it is based on these 3 points. One is vapor pressure, that how much a vapor pressure is created when a substance is it is converted into vapors, or if it is in the vapor form, so how much pressure it produces. The second one is the volatility, that how much it is volatile, it is when it is converted in from one form to another form, so how much time it takes in the volatility. And the third component which depends on the retention of a compound, of a mixture, of a solute, so it is the interaction with the stationary phase of the column. So the retention of compound, it depends on these 3 points: vapor pressure, volatility and interaction with the stationary phase. Coming to the stationary phase in gas chromatography, so usually the 2 stationary phases it is used in gas chromatography. One is called the solid absorbent, in which absorbent is the solid, and this type of chromatography is called gas solid chromatography. The other type of stationary phase is called GLC or gas liquid chromatography, in which liquid is coated on a solid support. So the gauge chromatography use these two types of stationary phases. In between, among these two phases, the gauge solid chromatography and the gauge liquid chromatography, GSC and GLC. The GLC is commonly used and in practice now. GLC uses liquid phases to coat the solid support material, and these liquid phases may be a polymer, maybe a hydrocarbon, maybe a fluorocarbon, maybe a liquid crystal, or it may be a molten organic salt. So these different type of liquid phases, they are coated on a solid material. One of the important and most popular capillary column is the silica, fused silica capillary column, which is used as a stationary phase in case of gauge chromatography. Like we can see in this picture that this is the outer coating and this is the silica, and this is the stationary phase. Maybe the polymer, hydrocarbon, fluorocarbons are related to these things. So this is the image of a stationary phase in the gauge chromatography column. Coming to the mobile phase of gauge chromatography, so usually we call this gauge chromatography because the mobile phase of this type of chromatography is gas. These gases are this mobile phase, they are called the carrier gases. Usually these gases are inert and they do not react with the other compounds or other gases, and they can be helium, hydrogen, nitrogen. So they are also used as a carrier gases or mobile phase in case of gauge chromatography. Along with the inert gases, other mobile phases, for example steam or supercritical fluids, for example carbon dioxide, nitrous oxide or ammonia. Supercritical fluids, these are the type of fluids in which they are heated to a level above the boiling point. So they are in a state that if we apply slightly pressure on this solution, on these mixture, so they can be converted into the liquid form. So this type of situation and this type of temperature is called supercritical temperature, and the fluid is called supercritical fluid. The gases used in the mobile phase of the gauge chromatography, they should be very pure, and the rate of the gas flow, they must be tightly controlled. The flow, that is the quantity, and the speed of the gas, that should be tightly controlled so that we can perform the gauge chromatography very easily and it do not disturb our results. The different components of gauge chromatography, it consists of a gauge cylinder, which is the mobile phase of the gauge chromatography, which provide gas for our procedure, and then the sample injector through which we can inject sample. Third phase is, the third part is the column, and this column consists of the stationary phase. The fourth part is the detector, which detects the amount or the different parts of the components and its quantity, and the last part is the computer, which is used for manipulation and for acquisition of data. So these are the major components of gauge chromatography instrumentation. And this is a picture of a gauge chromatography system, a cylinder which provides gas along with the valves through which we can control the flow and the pressure of gas. These are the injector system where sample is injected through this point. This is the column, and this column is present inside this oven, and we can heat the system with the oven. Here is the detector which detects the quantity of different components of a mixture, and depend on the quantity, it gives electrical signal which is then converted into data, and we can get the image or the peaks that is formed during the processing of a mixture. This is the advanced and automatic system of gas chromatography. How this gas chromatography system works? First of all, the samples are introduced into the gas chromatography using a syringe pipette or an automated syringe pipette system. Then a pipette tip, it perforates a plastic septum located at the injector port. Each injection port is heated to a very high temperature. So when these ports are heated to a high temperature, the sample is converted into wafer form and they go through along to the column. After going along the column, if the molecule of interest is not volatile, so they are converted into other form that is more volatile, and we can get a good result from that form. Usually they are derivatized into different form by adding one of the three groups, usually silylation, alkylation or acylation. Silylation technique is the most common technique which is used for the derivatization of those chemical compounds or those mixtures which are not easily volatile. So silylation is performed to those those mixtures, and these silylations, they replace the active hydrogen on the compounds with the alkyl silyl group. Usually they are trimethyl silyl ether. So these groups, they replace the active hydrogen on the compound or in the mixture. So these mixture, they are easily converted into volatile form, and then this result in a more volatile form and which is less polar, and they are thermally stable. This is a video which shows the working of gas chromatography. Here we can see this is a gas tank which provides gas, usually helium, argon, neon or like that. The inert gases. This is the oven which containing the column. This is the hydrogen gas, and this is the flame ionization detector which detects the components of the mixture. These are the samples and these are the injection system. So the gas is supplied into the system and then sample is injected. This is the septum where sample is injected through a injector tip. So the gas supply is started and we can see the sample is injected. The sample can be analyzed whole or in a parts. So this is the first system where it is analyzed separate, and this is the whole sample is analyzed as one time. So here sample comes in the column, and this is a column which contain the stationary as well as the mobile phase, which is in the form of gas. So these are the different components of the mixture, and we can see they are going to separate on the basis of this is the interaction with the column and the stationary phase. So if they interact more with the stationary phase, they will be separated in more time, and if they interact less with the stationary phase, so they will be separated fastly. Here is the detection system where they are detected, and hydrogen ion is used for this purpose because hydrogen ion is used for flame, and this flame vaporize and heat up these different solutes of the components, and they are polarized. So here the electrode, it collects all the ions and they are calculated. Here we can see this is the component, so they are more heated and they are collected through this electrode. So the amount of components they received, it gives the electric supply, and then the data is collected and manipulated in computer like this. This is the amount of the substance, and this is the time in which the substance are separated, or the retention time. So this was the working of gas chromatography. The different types of columns that is present in gas chromatography, usually the two types of columns, one is called packed column and the other is called capillary column. The packed column, it is usually around 1 to 5 meter length, and their diameter is about 2 to 4 millimeter in diameter. And the capillary column, they are 5 to 100 millimeter usually in length, and diameter is from 0.1 to 0.8 millimeter. Packed column, they are called packed column because they are filled with the stationary phase. And capillary column, the stationary phase is coated on the interior surface of the column. The stationary phase is not filled, but it is coated with the interior surface of the column. So packed column is the result of packed column, it gives a high efficiency and it can detect minute quantity of the substance. But capillary column, it is used for those specimens which have very large capacity, and the large specimen, they are purified well in capillary column. But packed column, it is used for a mixture which have minute quantity of a specimen. So these are the different types of columns that is used in the gas chromatography. The detectors which are used in gas chromatography is usually the flame ionization detector, as we have seen in the animation, a thermal conductivity detector, nitrogen phosphorus, electron capture, flame photometric, and mass spectrometric detector. So these are the different types of detectors which are used in gas chromatography. Among these detectors, the flame ionization detector, this is the most commonly used, and in practice it is used because it detects a wide variety of organic and inorganic compounds, and it measures the ion produced by the compounds when they are burned in hydrogen air flame. As we have seen in the animation, that the compounds, they are mixed with the hydrogen and air, so they are converted into ions, and these ions, they are detected with the help of FIDs, and these FIDs, then they give us the current produced, and the current produced, it is proportional to the extent of the substance. This is example of a result. This is called chromatogram, and in chromatogram it gives us, this is the time, how much time it takes to separate from its mixture, in how much time a component is separated from a mixture, and these peaks shows the quantity of a substance, how much substance is present in a mixture. Okay, the last part of today's topic is the applications of gaze chromatography. So gaze chromatography, they are applied and they are performed for the monitoring of therapeutic drug. For example, we are applying or we are generating, we are developing a new drug. So what are the effects and how much this drug is converted and where this drug goes inside the blood or goes inside the urine. So it is used for the monitoring of a drug, and also gaze chromatography is performed in case of toxicology and testing for metabolic errors. If there is any disease in the metabolism of any specific substance, so we can also detect that substance in gaze chromatography. Also, for analyzing psychoactive drugs, especially which have active metabolites and which should be measured in apparent drugs, volatile poisons, for example methanol, ethanol, isopropanol, acetone or aldehyde. So to analyze these kind of drugs, gaze chromatography procedure is performed, and also for testing a drug abuse in a urine sample and also in the serum level. So these kind of drug abuse and or their byproducts, they are checked in urine, and the procedure which is followed is gaze chromatography. The inborn ends of metabolism, they are also checked in case of a genetic disease. So these are the applications of gaze chromatography. So this was all about the gaze chromatography. Hope you have learned much more. For any assistance, any issue, you can or you can comment in the comment box. Thank you for watching video. Please like, subscribe and share this video with the colleagues and friends. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.